Good morning and welcome to our second annual Audit Summit. My name is Josh Gallion and I serve the citizens of North Dakota as their state auditor. Last year's event was a tremendous success. Our communications director, Emily Dalzell, and her team pulled together an outstanding program filled with valuable information for the participants. We had hoped to have between 75 and 100 people register. The final tally last year exceeded 300. Amazing job to Emily, our presenters, and a huge thank you to everyone who made that event the success it was. As a reminder, those videos are available on our YouTube channel. The areas that we covered, auditors aren't so bad, single audit, our budget spreadsheet, audit reports, the law changes, and of course, my favorite session is Q&A. We want to try to answer the questions that are important to you. Those you can rewatch anytime you would like out there on that YouTube channel. Today, we will also make sure that the videos from this summit, we will also make available here in the near future for you to rewatch. On the YouTube channel, you'll also find other short educational videos about how to lower your audit costs, keep support for budgets, and much more. This year's summit will follow a similar format as last year. But we're going to have shorter segments. Oh, but wait, there's more. We will also have a special guest presenter along with many of our team members here in the auditor's office. His name is Brent Call from the North Dakota Department of Emergency Services to discuss the single audit as a co-presenter. Brent helps facilitate all FEMA federal declarations, helps with compliance with federal grants, and is a wealth of information. Before I get into a brief overview of this year's summit, I wanted to thank the legislature for providing additional resources to the auditor's office, like the Education and Training Coordinator. They also made significant changes to audit thresholds, which will reduce the demand for audits across the state of North Dakota. That change alone could save millions of dollars each and every year for local governments. With rising costs due to inflation and supply shortages, this is a great change for North Dakota, and I greatly appreciate all of Dan Cox's work analyzing the information and crafting this valuable legislation. Dan is one of our audit managers with decades of experience, and the great thing is he will be one of your presenters later today. Now, we always want to connect with you. We are on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, YouTube, and we also have a quarterly newsletter that you can go to our website and sign up to receive. As always, feel free to give us a call or email with any questions you have. We are here to help. Now on to this year's summit with the outstanding line of presenters. We're going to cover a wide variety of topics that will help enhance your understanding of accounting, budgeting, and auditing. We're going to begin with general audit topics presented by Mike Scher and Heath Erickson. There's a lot to think about when you start an audit. This session is going to walk you through an audit from start to finish. You'll learn time-saving tips, audit requirements, and learn about the variety of audit frameworks. The next session, Understanding the Single Audit, presented by Lindsay Slappy and Brent Call, our guest speaker. Single audits can be confusing for a lot of people. When you hear things like fiscal management process and federal grants, it can be overwhelming. We're here to help explain the single audit process in terms that are easy to understand and what it means, and learn how best to be prepared. Our next session, The Dollars Go Here and There, budgets, presented by Alex Bakken. Budgets are a massive undertaking, and they can be overwhelming for a lot of people. This session will review the components of budget policies and processes, and you will learn how to develop a budget that works best for your entire organization. How to figure out bank reconciliations, which will be presented by John Worrell. Managing reconciliations requires a lot of moving parts, and it can be confusing at times. We're going to break it all down and explain the process from start to finish. The next section, Your Friendly Neighborhood Auditor. Getting ready for an audit, presented by James Carroll. When you hear that you're getting an audit, most people aren't thrilled. But there are steps you can take to help your team be prepared for an audit to save time and money. You'll learn action steps so you can look forward to your next audit. The next session, what is GASB 54 and why should I care? Presented by Heath Erickson. While nothing about GASB sounds exciting, because it isn't, the Governmental Accounting Standards Board has a comprehensive list of standards that will most likely impact your organization. This session will talk about the ins and outs of those standards and help you learn how they will apply to those financial statements. Changes. The legislative updates that are coming your way, presented by our very own Dan Cox. There were a lot of bills signed into law this last session, and Dan is going to talk about how those changes could impact your audit and the review process, and he will give you tips to prepare for those changes. We will be wrapping up with the Q&A section. All of the presenters will be available, and if you've got questions, we've got answers. And again, we're going to have an entire lineup of our presenters today to get to those. I'm so excited for today's sessions. My hope is that this information will help improve understanding and knowledge of government accounting and auditing. We also want to reduce the fear or anxiety about contacting the auditor's office with questions. No question of the auditor's office has ever led to an audit being initiated. During the sessions today, if at any point you have questions, feel free, as Callie said, put those in the chat box. And we will answer those at the conclusion of each session, or we will try to get to those during the Q&A session. If you have a specific question you'd like to connect with one of the speakers about, everyone who registered received a copy of the speaker's contact information. As always, feel free to reach out to any one of them on our team. We are here to help. If you would like a copy of the PowerPoint slides for today's presentations, they are available for download on our website under the Education tab. I also want to mention a couple of upcoming events that might be helpful for you. The North Dakota League of Cities is having its annual conference September 20th to the 22nd at the Bismarck Event Center, and the North Dakota Association of Counties is having its annual conference October 8th to the 10th at the Bismarck Event Center. I want to thank you all for joining us today, and I hope you find each one of these sessions valuable. Thank you.